What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chris coming at you for another Deerfish Gaming video. And today I'm really excited because I'm coming at you live from Redemption talking about a mono blue raid deck. Shout out to my friend Jacob. He's been playing all different sorts of raid decks: Ray Red, Ray Blue, Ray Cunning, and Ray Green. And he's made it look like a lot of fun. So here I am trying out Ray Blue, and I've been having a blast. And I just feel like it's time to bring you guys a video on it because I'm gonna do videos on decks I'm having fun with. So I think you guys will enjoy it too. Yeah, I have some cards in here that I don't think some people are comboing with, and I really like them. So I'm really excited to share my thoughts. And if you like the idea of that, hit that like button. And if you don't want to miss any more videos coming out of the Deerfish Gaming channel, hit that subscribe button. I'm gonna be putting out all sorts of deck videos and gameplay videos, just whenever I get the chance. And yeah, if you like SWU content, just don't want to miss any of that. I also am going to be having some nature content coming up. I'm going to be going on some hikes and stuff. So if you are interested in something like that, look out for that stuff too. But in pertains to this video, I'm going to be going over the main deck and the side deck, of course, in some pretty good detail, card by card. And then I'm also going to go over my resource turns, what I'm looking for on each resource turn. And at the very end, I'm going to be going over a whole smorgasbord of flex spots. So let's get into that right now. All right, let's talk about Ray, our leader. Okay, I really, really like Ray. Whereas Piet ramped up to play a big ship early, Ray will give you an experience token on something that's not as strong to give it a little bit more staying power and also help you control the field, maybe keep a restore unit out. It has a lot of usefulness, and I really, really like Ray's ability. Action 1, give an experience token to a unit with 2 or less power. So it does have a limitation, so it's not broken, but it is very, very good. And Ray flips on 6, so let's see what she looks like when she flips. 2 attack and 6 health. Restore 3. On attack, you can be given an experience token to a unit with 2 or less power. So on attack, you can give her an experience token, making her a 3/7, and then after that, you can give experience tokens to other stuff if you want to. Or, on attack, give experience token to something else immediately if you feel like it. I'm not living your life. I'm just saying things you can do. I really, really like Ray. And of course, she's a force unit. So if you flip her and you do put a Jedi lightsaber on her, she does get that effect of the -2/-2. You will lose being able to put the experience token on her because she'll get the extra 3 power from the lightsaber. But who's not mad at a 5/9 Ray who can give -2/-2 to the thing that she is attacking and also restores 3? I think that's pretty nuts. So yeah, so we like Ray, and that restore 3 is really, really nuts. Just having that guaranteed restore 3 unit coming out on 6 is very, very nice. And let's get into the rest of the list. Okay, so our base is Colossus. 35 health, draw 1 less card in your starting hand. I think Mono Blue Hero, honestly, I think has the best chance of recovering from this 1 less card deficit, especially if you have the initiative. And we're going to get into that really quickly, but I don't want to skip ahead. But let's get into these main cards. But Mono Blue Hero has pretty good early card draw to recover from that 1 less card. So R2-D2 is very, very good. The new R2-D2 has 1 attack, 4 health. You can pilot for 0, so a free pilot. Gotta love that. And he gives +1/+1, so not too crazy, but for a free pilot, it's really good. And then on top of that, if he's your only turn 1 play that you have, like say, oh man, I like the rest of my cards, but I don't really have a good turn 1 play, I just have R2-D2. Well, guess what? R2-D2 is a really good turn 1 play. You tricked yourself because, as I kind of spoke about earlier, you can play R2-D2 for 1, then you can buff him with an experience token with Ray, making him a 2/5, and then on the very next turn, buff him to a 3/6. Bada bing, bada boom. You start out the game with a 3/6. You tell me what's bad or not. That's all I'm saying. So I really, really like. I mean, in all seriousness, though, I really like R2-D2, and he is a non-blue card. So that will come up here in a couple of cards when we mention how many mono blue cards we exactly have. But he's very, very good, and he warrants the it's okay not having the blue aspect in our mono blue deck. because he's a hero. And you'll get in a second when I say when we talk about Kuil, why you need to have the blue aspect on pretty much every card when you're playing a hero mono hero blue deck. So we got Hera. Okay, she had a dewdrop, 2 attack, 3 health, restore 1. She can also pilot, and when you pilot her, attached unit gains restore 1. So restore 1 no matter what when she's out, whether she's a pilot or not. And +2 attack when she's a pilot, and then +3 health when she's a pilot. So she's +2, +3, restore 1, or no matter where she's at, whether she's on the space piloting or whether she's on the ground. She's very solid. Not as good as the next card we're going to go over, but you buff her up to a 3/4. That's not so bad for a turn 1 play, right? Not so bad for a turn 1 play. Well, she comes at 3/4 on the next turn. But it's pretty good, I think. Okay. Now we have Kuya, probably the best 2-drop in the game, especially from Blue Hero, Mono Blue Hero. Especially if you're playing this deck and you don't have this card in the deck, I think you're just a silly goose head. I didn't mean to be so harsh about it, but I said what I said. Okay. So a 2 attack, 3 health, restore 1. It's a 2-drop. And then on attack, discard a card from your deck. If it shares an aspect with your base, return it to your hand. Okay, this is very, very good. Okay, in the main deck, I have exactly 5 cards that are not sharing the blue aspect. Okay, R2D2 being one of them. So essentially, why I kind of mentioned with R2D2, you need the blue aspect to share with your base because that's Colossus. Almost every single card we're going to draw. Okay, if we hit our Crate Dragon, you can see that down on the list at the bottom of the screen. We do have a Crate Dragon that we hit our Crate Dragon. That is by far the absolute worst thing to hit. We only have one of it in the deck. The chances of that happening is so crazy low. It's fine. Okay, it's fine. And then the R2D2, same thing. We only have 2 in the deck. If we miss him, he's a good unit. But if we're not playing him on turn 1, then we're trying to pilot him for free. So it's not the worst. Missing a card does suck, but like I said, there's only 5 cards in the deck you're gonna miss, and the only other one is Millennium Falcon. We'll talk about that later. But he is so good. He's going to allow you to recover from that card deficit at the beginning of the game. You start with 1 less card in the hand. Boop. You immediately attack with Kuil. No, you don't. You immediately get that card back, and it's like you never had that card deficit in the beginning. So Cassian Andor. Cassian Andor is a very, very good card. I think he's a little bit underrated. I would say probably the thing I have him in this deck for is the turn 1, turn 2 combo that I have going on. So to recover the card deficit, again, we're talking about recovering the card deficit from Colossus. Okay, we use Kuil. He's pretty straightforward, no extra shenanigans. Just attack on the very next turn. First thing you do, recover that card deficit. Well, with Cassian, we need to pilot him, right? So we have restored Arc 170. We're going to come down to space and talk about this space unit just for 1 second, okay? It's a 2-drop, 2 attack, 3 health, restore 1. Okay, it's a space unit, all right? Nothing special. Has restore 1. You can also buff it with Rey if you want to. So a really good play is playing this Restored Arc 170 on turn 1. If you don't have Kuil, of course, you always want to play Kuil. And then on turn 2, you can buff the Restored Arc 170. And then you can throw this Cassian Andor on him, okay? So it's 3 attack, 4 health, 3 cost, plus 1 attack piloting, plus 3 health of piloting. And when you pilot for 2, attached unit gains on attack, discard a card from the defending player's deck. If that card costs 3 or less, draw a card. So essentially, you play Restored Arc for 2, you buff it up for 1, and then you pilot Cassian Andor for 2 on your second turn. So that makes Restored Arc now, so you buff it up to a 3/4, and then you pilot with Cassian. So now it's a 4/7. A 4/7 on the second turn, and it's ready to attack. You attack for 4 damage, and then on top of that, you restore 1. And if they discard a card from their deck, from the top of their deck, that costs 3 card or less, draw a card, making up your card deficit. I don't know about you guys, but most decks have a lot of 3 cards, 3 cost or less cards. Would you like to know why? Because most people like to play on turn 1 and in turn 2. And so if you miss turn 1 and turn 2, I think most people, like, it's hard to recover. So I've just found that this is so good. That combo, that restored art combo into the buff, then with the Cassian Andor is very, very good. So yeah, that was a little rant on that, but that is why Cassian Andor is in the deck. He's also very easily, he's like a pilot that you can kind of take out if you're like, okay, there's 2 other cards that would fit better into that, like maybe Village Protectors or something like that. It's a very easy swap card. But I'm telling you guys, I get more card draw off of him than you would think. And having like a 4/7 space unit on turn 2 is pretty strong. Okay, pretty strong. All right. Now we're talking about L3. Now, L3 is pretty freaking absurd. Okay, I love this card. Okay, this card was probably one of the cards that put me over the top. Like, I'm about to play a lot of Ray Blue. So it's a 3 cost, 3 attack, 3 health. You're like, okay, Chris, what's so great about that? Well, it's also a pilot. Okay, so same pilot cost 3 plus 3 attack plus 3 health. You're like, oh, okay, Chris, what's so great? Threes everywhere. Who cares? This is L3333333. Okay, well, what's L3? This L3 right here. If this unit would be defeated, you may instead attach her as an upgrade to a friendly unit without a pilot on it. She's no longer a unit, defeat all upgrades on her, and remove all damage from her. Okay, this is so good. Okay, this means you can play L3 on the ground without impunity, and you can crash her into a unit, and then you can move her over to a vehicle. It's so good. Maybe you're not ready to pilot her, but you have something you want to pilot later, but you still want to get some damage in with L3. Boom, play L3 on the ground. Okay. You don't have a force unit, but you have L3 and you have Jedi lightsaber, and you want to make sure that you give a big threat on ground. On a specific turn, maybe turn 4, when Sabine comes out, you need to have something that can do over 5 damage immediately. If you don't have takedown, I don't know, that's pretty good. And then what happens is it creates a 6/6, right? And they have to answer it, okay? And typically, L3 will survive a turn with the Jedi lightsaber on it. Typically. And then what happens is you can play like the Falcon or the Ghost the next turn, and then allowing you to, if when she eventually will probably get taken out that turn after, can go over and pilot and just be very useful on that scenario. So L3 just creates a lot of crazy combos. This deck. There's a lot of instances and a lot of different nuances that go on, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun learning everything. So, Yoda, I'm not gonna talk. I need to save some of this stuff for the resource talk later. I'm probably getting a little rambly. I apologize if I am. But Yoda's really good. He can be buffed by Rey, of course. Restore 2, 3 cost, and when defeated, choose any number of players. They each draw a card. Don't ever be a silly goosehead and let your opponent draw a card. I guess maybe unless they're about to deck out, but even then, no. You let yourself draw a card when he's defeated. So he's really good, and he's also a force unit. Throw a Jedi lightsaber on him. Pretty cool. He's another unit though that you can give an experience token to with Rey, and then throw the Jedi lightsaber on. Very good. So we got Kanan Jarrus, 4 attack, 5 health, 4 cost. On attack, you may discard 1 card from the defending player's deck for each friendly Spectre unit. Heal 1 damage from your base for each different aspect among the discarded cards. Very good. Okay, and with this new set, we have some Spectres coming out, and it's just this guy is, I think, has just gotten way better. He's a force. So for the Jedi lightsaber, he's a Spectre unit. So he pairs with Hera, who is also a Spectre unit, and then also pairs with the Ghost that we're going to be talking about later. And the Ghost is just very good. He's just gets very combo-y with the Ghost, but just allowing you to discard more cards from the top of your opponent's deck. So we have so far we have Cassian that discards cards from the top of your opponent's deck. And then we have Cadent that discards cards on the top of your opponent's deck. And Secret Time, we have Vigilance in the deck. So we just have a lot of natural mill going on in this deck. So to be honest with you, I've also found my opponents have been running out of cards more than I anticipated while playing this deck. Just a side note on that. So I don't have any 5-drop. I don't have any 5-drop ground cost unit. It is what it is. I do not like Kiadi Mundi. I do not. I do not. I never get his coordinate ability off. He always gets answered. I mean, always gets answered. And I don't like him. I just don't. Maybe I need to give him a little more love this set. But the 5-drop that basically I replaced him for is in space, and I don't think I'm ever going to take the ghost out, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But let's talk about our first 6-drop. Okay, we got Bendu. 6 cost, 4 attack, 7 health. He's a sentinel. On attack, the next non-heroism or villainy card you play, this phase costs 2 less. So we have quite a bit cards that have a heroism tag, right? We have no cards that have a villainy tag. But we have a few cards that have absolutely none of those tags. So the Zillow Beast can be played for 7 after attack with Bendu. Fell the Dragon can be played for 2. Takedown can be played for 2. Vigilance can be played for 2. Nebula Ignition can be played for 7, right? A board wipe can be played for 7. That's right. This deck has a way to board wipe on 7 if needed. It's sometimes needed. But the spiciest of spicy spices, you attack with Bendu, and you can play Crate Dragon 4/9 in this mono blue red deck, mono blue raid deck, and that is extra spicy, and it's a mind blower. It's a mind blower, and they've already dealt with all this restore, and all of a sudden, boom! You throw down a Crate Dragon. Feels great. And don't let it survive a turn, baby. Then I'm going to give it a shield token with Vigilance or something like that. I mean, if the game isn't over with 1 attack, it is wild. I really, really like it. And I really like Bendu paired with all that crap that I just mentioned. So I've really, really grown on Bendu. And it's not a card I was using at first, but it is one that I'm liking now. And it's also a force unit. So if you do throw this magical Jedi lightsaber on it, when it attacks, it can give something -2/-2. So it's a pretty good card. It's a pretty good card, and it's a 4/7. Now we got Obi-Wan Kenobi. All right, 6 cost, 4 attack, 6 health. Sentinel. When defeated, give 2 experience tokens to another friendly unit. If it's a force unit, draw a card. We have plenty of force units. So I imagine those experience tokens going to be going around, and again, draw a card. Another way to get that card deficit back from Colossus. Now, hopefully, Resource 6, we've already recovered from that card deficit, but it's never too late to draw a card, whether you recover from Colossus early or not. And on top of that, the experience tokens are good to help protect something from the Nebula Ignition that you might play later. Okay? And then Luke Skywalker. We love some Luke Skywalker. All right, 7 cost, 6 attack, 7 health, restore 3, and then when played, give an enemy unit -3/-3 for this phase. If a friendly unit was defeated this phase, give that enemy unit -6/-6 for this phase instead. So typically what happens, just being honest, on Resource 7, Rey gets taken out immediately. Like, maybe you get an attack with Rey, maybe you don't get an attack with Rey, but most of the time Rey gets taken out. She restores 3. People do not like that. It's fair. I understand. And Rey gets taken out because she only hits for 3 most of the time unless you get like a Jedi lightsaber on her. And so it's just a relatively easy unit to take out and get rid of Restore 3. Then you immediately follow it up with Luke. You get that Restore 3, that big unit, because it has to be a big unit because she has a lot of health, will ultimately get taken down. And now you're in a very, very good spot. So it's just how to kind of how things work out. I really, really like Luke. Luke is so good. Again, another Force unit for the Jedi lightsaber as well. So, yeah, you just can't go wrong with Luke. I mean, playing Luke is just great. And just, I mean, if I could play 7 of Lukes, I would play 7 Lukes. I mean, yeah, I love Luke. He's so good. That's kind of dumb. Of course you would. This card's broken. That was kind of an obvious statement. So ignore it. Cut that, future Chris. No, don't cut it. I'm just kidding. We already talked about Crate Dragon a little bit. It costs 9. It's going to cost 11 if you don't use Bendu's ability. 10 attack, 10 health. Overwhelm. When an opponent plays a card, you may deal damage equal to that card's cost to their base or a ground unit they control. Paying 11 for this card is, I mean, it's still good. This card is great. Okay, I mean, this card is amazing. It's not a card you have to live or die on. In this deck, like if you draw it and you have to resource it early, it is what it is. Don't like. I don't think that you should just be like, oh man, I drew the Crate Dragon early. Game's over. What am I gonna do? No, don't worry about it. It's fine. This is literally like, you know, end game. Oh my gosh, I need something to pull out of my butt, and it's getting late in the game. Boom, you play your Crate Dragon. Okay, you drew it. You play your Crate Dragon. You know, so but it's so good, especially if you can play it for 9. It's so good. I love the Crate Dragon. And if you want to take out the Crate Dragon, put in a second Zilla Beast or maybe a second Nebula Ignition, I'm not mad at you, but I'm just a crazy motherfucker, and I like to play me some Crate Dragons. Um, Zillow Beast. Come on now, mouse. Zillow Beast costs 9, 10 attack, 10 health, just like the Crate Dragon. And when played, give each enemy ground unit -5 for this phase. Very, very good. When the regroup phase starts, you'll have 5 damage from this unit. So what often happens, right? If somehow I can get the Zillow Beast, okay, so like I attack with Bendu, and then I play the Zillow Beast. I'm like, oh man, what you gonna do? I played the Zillow Beast. They spend their time dealing with, trying to figure out a way to deal with the Zillow Beast or the Bendu, and then either, you know, like they have like a removal event for the Zillow Beast, or you know, they're able to, you know, take out the Bendu and the Zillow Beast in a couple of turns, and then you can play the Crate Dragon. It's just so demoralizing for your opponent to answer a Zillow Beast, and then for you to not play a second Zillow Beast. No. You play a Crate Dragon, okay? It's just, I mean, because a Crate Dragon at a well opportune time is just, okay, I scoop. That's what that means. It's man, if you can't tell, I'm high on Crate Dragon. I just love Crate Dragon. Okay, so Millennium Falcon. So we're playing a fair amount of pilots in this deck, and this card is so good. Now you're like, Chris, 3-drop. There's a card missing. You're right. There is a card missing from what a normal Rey deck would probably play, and that is Concord Dawn Interceptors. I acknowledge that card is good, and I like it. You can buff it with Rey. We're going to talk about it in the flex spot. But because I'm playing so many pilots, and I have a fair amount of removal for space, and I got the Ghost, I like Falcon. Concord Dawn Interceptors is only a 3/4 when they're attacking. Granted, you buff it with Rey. So don't get me wrong. Like, it technically can get bigger than Falcon. But you know, you put a pilot on Falcon. You can put 2 pilots on Falcon, and like you put Cassian on Falcon and Hera, and then all of a sudden it's, you know, it's a 10. It's 10 health. Discards a card from the top of the deck. You may get to draw a card and you restore. It's just this Falcon is very, very good. You play it after you stabilize, and you just really start pushing that damage. Or if maybe you're in a game 3 base race scenario, this allows you to actually have a chance at the base racing. So I really have liked the Falcon, but if you prefer Concord Dawn Interceptors, that's fine. It is what it is. But it's a 3 cost, 3 attack, 4 health. You may play or deploy 1 additional pilot on this unit, so you can have 2 pilots on it, 3 with R2, and this unit gets +1 for each pilot on it. So I just like that the possibility, you can play Hera. I think the best pilot combo you can have for damage is Hera, L3, and then R2D2. So what? That's +4 attack with L3, and then +3 from Hera, and then +2 from the R2. So what? That's 7, 9. So it becomes 12 attack. It's so broken. I really really like this Falcon. If you know, and if your opponent's spending their whole time having to counter your removal spells, there's a good chance after you stabilize, you can safely start piloting this thing up and just really really get some good damage in. And then what allows you to keep it safe is this thing called the Ghost right here. Okay, each other friendly Spectre gains this unit's keywords. While this unit is upgraded, it gains Sentinel. So any pilot comes onto this and it becomes a Sentinel. It's a 5 cost, 5 attack, 6 health. Okay, so pretty much no matter what pilot we throw on here, it pretty much goes up to 9 health. It is, this thing is absurd. I love the Ghost. I just, yeah, I really really love the Ghost. Or you can play the Ghost on 5 and then immediately put R2D2 on it for free to make it a 6/7, and it has Sentinel. And then maybe you don't have you don't have your side in your village protectors. It's game 1. You need just a Sentinel quick unit for ground. Boom. Hera is a Spectre unit, so she will gain Sentinel. She will gain Sentinel, okay? Just like if you play Hera onto the Ghost, because you piloted Hera onto the Ghost, attached unit gains Restore 1, the Ghost will have gained Restore 1. And so each Spectre unit gains this unit's keywords. Now, Hera is a unique unit, so you can't just play another Hera on the ground. But what you can do is your Kanan will get not only Sentinel, because the Ghost gains Sentinel because it's upgraded by Hera, but you'll also gain the Restore 1 from the Hera because it also gained the Restore 1 from the Hera. Very complicated what I just talked about right there, but essentially the Ghost allows you to give like Kanan or Hera Sentinel. Like if you have upgraded the Ghost and you need a quick Sentinel unit on the ground besides a Bendu or Obi-Wan, boom, there you go. It creates a lot of interactions that your opponent is not ready for. A lot of just those cards aren't normally Sentinels. Okay, so if they just let your Ghost remain upgraded and in space, you not only are going to have a strong space unit, but you can just the amount of Sentinel units that you have on ground also increases by a lot, and it matters. I'm telling you, it matters. Trust me. Okay. And so now we're going to the Redemption. 8 cost, 6 attack, 9 health. Another Sentinel unit, just a lot of Sentinel units in this deck in general. When played, heal up to 8 total damage from any number of units and or bases. Deal that much damage to this unit. Okay, so this is very, very good. Recover a large amount of damage from anything, unit or base, in an instance. Shazam. And it's very, very good. There's a reason why, like if you're playing a Hero Blue deck, this is probably in it. We only have 2 because we have a large amount of healing already. We do have the 3rd one in the side deck. I don't think you play a Hero Blue deck without having the combo 3 somewhere, whether it be in the main deck with 1 in the side deck or whatever it be. But yeah, I really, really like this card, and I think most people who have played a mono or a Hero Blue deck do. So, you're all clear, kid. The more I play this card, the more and more and more and more and more and more I like it. Okay, so if they go a lot, so many people are going space early, and maybe this is my local meta, but this my local meta is a lot of people are going space units early. Jump to Lightspeed has a lot of space units now, so it's just more likely that your opponent is going to be playing a space unit early. Defeat an enemy space unit with 3 or less remaining HP. Almost every single turn one space unit has 3 or less HP. So, okay, worst case scenario, boom, removal immediately, trade 1 for 1 at the beginning of the game. You're not getting behind, okay? And if you do, an opponent controls no space units after that, you may give an experience token to a unit. So essentially, the best combo with this is play Kuiil on turn 1. They play a space unit. You claim. They pass. In a perfect world, you can buff Kuil, and then you can use your all clear kid on their space unit because maybe they played a different unit, they didn't upgrade that space unit, and then you can give Kuil an experience token, making Kuil a 4/5. I think that is probably one of the strongest turn ones that you can have. It does not come up that often. More often than not, this is used to pop a space unit before it can get a Chewy upgrade on it, or just to 1-for-1 to keep the to keep aggro decks in check. Okay, that Chewy pilot is a freaking menace. We have Confiscate in the side deck for it, but this card is just crucial if you're going against an aggro hero green deck and they play space unit turn 1 and you do not have your all clear kid to immediately answer it. I don't know what to tell you. You might lose that game unless you can get the ghost out ASAP and with some sentinel action. I mean that Chewy pilot is a menace. It is what it is. Fell of the Dragon. So 4 costs, defeat a non-leader unit with 5 or more power. Very, very good card. We have 2 of them. Just at any point, this can just pop off, especially with all the upgrades going around these days. So you just, be careful, be on the lookout. With all the pilots, any space unit can potentially get up to 5 power really, really quick, just like that. Takedown. A goodie and oldie right here. 4 cost, defeat a unit with 5 or less remaining HP. It's pretty straight up. Just defeat a unit with 5 or less remaining HP. Let's do that. Vigilance. All right, Vigilance. So good. Okay, 4 cost. And again, remember we talked about this earlier. This card could potentially be 2 with a Bindu attack. Choose 2 in any order. Discard 6 cards from an opponent's deck. Heal 5 damage from a base. Defeat a unit with 3 or less remaining HP, and give a shield token to a unit. Okay, this is so good. More often than not, you're going to be discarding cards from an opponent's deck and heal 5 damage from a base because, yeah, with Kanan and with the Cassian pilot, you're actually discarding quite a bit from your opponent's deck. It really adds up over time. You don't really think about it when you're first starting out the deck, but after you get a little bit more experience with the deck, you really start counting up in your head, okay, my opponent really has started to discard a lot of cards from their deck. But however, in this deck, I have found all of this stuff is useful. Defeat a unit with 3 or less remaining HP is bonkers. Give a shield token to a unit at certain instances is bonkers. Okay, like you can use Vigilance. You can heal 5 damage from your base and then give a shield token to the ghost. A shield token is an upgrade, so giving the ghost a shield token will give it Sentinel. Things like that is just so good. This card is absolutely amazing. Do not limit yourself like when you're playing this card to 2 options. Really think about the options you have. Rivals Fall, we play one of it, 6 costs, defeat a unit straight up, just for that one annoying unit that you do not know how you're going to deal with. Nebula Ignition, you can potentially play it for 7. Defeat each unit that isn't upgraded. Now, there is a lot of upgrades going on, but there are a lot of people just straight up going wide. There are a lot of decks that aren't playing upgrades. And there are a lot of decks that are just not expecting Nebula Ignition, especially on 7. So if somehow you can get that Bindu attack off, and then you can play Nebula Ignition on 7, I guarantee it's probably going to be a board wipe, but for them. Because you know what? We have a lot of experience tokens going around. We got a lot of pilots going around. So if we play Nebula Ignition, we're probably going to be okay. And that's why I think it's safe to include in this deck. And also Mono Blue is just really craving a board wipe. And when I first saw this, I said, at 9 cost, I'm literally never going to play this. Even without Bindu, I played it a lot. And it was probably one of the main things that helped me secure games or matches over and over again. Because people are just not expecting a board wipe coming out of a Mono Blue Ray deck. And then we got the Jedi Lightsaber, 3 attack, plus 3 attack, and then plus 3 health when it's equipped, attached to a non-vehicle unit. If it's attached to a force unit, it gains on attack. Give the defender -2/-2 for this phase. So good. I really like this. Alright, and now for the sideboard, we got Confiscate, defeat and upgrade. Pretty easy, 1 cost. Restock, 1 cost. Choose up to 4 cards in the discard pile, put them on the bottom of their owner's deck in any random order. So you can actually play restock. It goes to your discard pile because you played it. You can choose restock and 3 other cards, and then boom, you can just keep that cycling going and never run out of cards. And tech. So tech is just so good, especially if you're in like a control matchup, or if you just feel like you're having the resource cards that you need. You just side in tech, bada bing, bada boom, no big deal. You can start smuggling stuff and really get out of hand with your opponent. Village Protectors, a perfect card to change out with Cassian Andor. If you feel like you're having a lot of ground pressure, you just take out Cassian Andor, you put in these Village Protectors, boom, you got another shielded Sentinel, or you got a shielded Sentinel early for the ground, and we're good to go, baby. Also, it can be buffed by Rey. Gotta love it. The Force is with me. This card is very good. 4 cost, choose a friendly unit and give 2 experience tokens to it. If you control a force unit, also give a shield token to the chosen unit. You may attack with the chosen unit. We have a boatload of force units. This card triggers the ghost. Makes Yoda good. Gives him 2 experience tokens and also immediately able to attack. This card will just catch your opponent off guard, and you have to time it right, and you kind of have to know when to side it in. And I personally am still kind of getting better and better about when I should side this in and not. Sometimes I forget that it's a good card in a matchup. So I'm just saying this card is I'm more high on it the more and more I play it. This is just a card I haven't. I feel like I should probably side in more than I am. And then of course we have the third redemption, and that is the whole deck. Okay, bada bing, bada boom. That was a long one. I felt like there was a lot of combos to go over, and I haven't really talked about this deck before, so I just felt like I needed to explain a little bit more. Now let's get into the resource, what I'm looking for, resource by resource turn. Okay, and so Rey has a lot of early game options. That was a lot of information I just covered over, so it's going to be easier to kind of see it all on one screen. So again, she's really good at buffing our early units. We got the R2-D2 that can be buffed to a 3/6, the Hera, the Kuil, and the Restored Arc all go up to a 3/4. And then don't forget, on the Restored Arc, you can pilot the L3 on it the very next turn, or you can pilot the Cassian on it the next turn after you give it a buff. So just don't forget these things. You can always also, of course, play like Hera or Kuil, and then you can play You're All Clear Kid and on the next turn and buff them with an experience token, right? So these are all little things that you can do. She has a lot of variety options for the opening hand, and that's very good because again, we're playing Colossus. And then of course on that resource 3, you can again play a lot of your 2-drops and buff them up. Or I'll play a lot of your 2-drops if you used one of your resources to buff up a unit you previously played, like R2 up to a 3/6. And then of course you can just outright play the Falcon, get ready to start piloting that up, or you can play your Yoda and get ready for that Jedi lightsaber. And Cassian Andor is, of course, he's still a 3/4. It's not the best 3-drop you want to play as a 3/4, but it's better than missing a turn, right? So yeah, Yoda has a lot of options. I mean, Rey has a lot of options. So yeah, I really like the amount of options we have for the early game with Rey. Okay, so now we're on resource 4 and resource 5. One card that I just couldn't fit on the screen without stringing the cards where I didn't want to is R2-D2. So basically, essentially, you can see from this screen, we're gonna either buff something and play Yoda, or we're gonna play Yoda and buff Yoda. Of course, the Jedi lightsaber is also something that we can play if we had played something on 3 that's worth Jedi lightsabering. And we got Kanan, who's a 4/5 that we can play on 4. Vigilance is always very good to play on 4. You can mill 6 and heal, or give a shield token to something. Just really look out for that. Felled Dragon, a lot of pilots going out there. You can immediately take out maybe 2-for-1 piloted spaceship that has over 5 power now. Take down something scary on the ground, more than likely on turn 4, that you can use with takedown. But normally Felled Dragon doesn't come out for a ground unit until like resource 5, resource 6. But so if you're not playing really any of those cards, we're trying to hit the space. We're trying to pilot. You know, you're gonna try to pilot your L3 somewhere, or your Hera, or your Cassian, and then on resource 5, we're pretty much always looking to play the Ghost. That's our card that we really want to hit on 5 and then play down, because you can really start to you know, activate your Spectre units and get those crazy combos with those Spectre units going if you can get that Ghost down. And just on top of that, the Ghost is very, very strong. You put the R2 unit on there as a pilot, and then you put another pilot on there, and it's just a force to be reckoned with. So these are the cards that we're looking to try to play around on Resource 4 and Resource 5 to just either really push a defensive advantage in space, or you know, use some force unit with some Jedi lightsabers to control the ground, or maybe use some of our control spells to just really keep control of the field and have nothing get out of hand. Okay, so our resource 6 and up is, it gets a little bit more transparent, right? We have all this removal, and we try to control the board early, and then that's when we start slamming our big stuff down. Okay, so we got Bindu to, you know, potentially help discount the Zillow Beast. Play Zillow Beast for 7, pretty devastating. Play Crate Dragon for 9 instead of 11. Maybe we need that Nebula Ignition for 7 instead. And of course, Vigilance is always good to play from turn 4 or from resource 4 on. I'm never going to be mad at playing Vigilance. It can always help you out in a very, very huge way. Healing 5 and discarding 6 cards from the top of your opponent's deck at the very minimum is pretty freaking good. Okay, we have the Obi-Wan Kenobi. Get those experience tokens, the draw card, and also another Sentinel unit down to help protect Rey, potentially, if we need to, because it comes out on that flip turn the same time as Rey. And then we got that Luke, of course, that we are pretty much trying to play on 7. You know, and the good thing about Rey is, as I was mentioning before, we have a lot of low cost cards, so you're probably going to more than likely draw more lower cost cards. So if maybe you already have board stabilization and you don't necessarily need to play, like, slam a Luke down immediately, maybe you want to play a couple of units, maybe go wide, and maybe have more units to be destroyed to activate Luke's ability, you can do that. You know, these are just cards that you're kind of looking for, you know, while you're still learning, and you know, just the natural flow of the deck, right? Redemption, very, very good. That's what we're looking for a 6+ resource turn, because you know, you can just get that big old heal up. That Rival's Fall can get you help you in a real good pinch. And of course, that Zillow Beast, whether you're paying for 7 or you're paying for 9, is just magnificent. The Crate Dragon, also paying for 9 or 11, I really like. As I mentioned before, if you feel like you just want to have 2 Zillow Beasts or maybe a second Nebula Ignition, nobody's going to be mad at you, especially not me. And that Nebula Ignition, we really like that card. We are playing upgrades left and right. Maybe our opponents aren't. It's not going to be a board clear for us. That's all I know. And then, of course, I already spoke about Vigilance. But yeah, so that is kind of what you're looking for when you're going through all your resource turns, at least with the main deck. So now let's talk about these flex spots before we end the video. All right, well, now we're starting to wind down, and let's mention some cards that maybe I didn't like, but maybe you might like. So we got Perilous Position. This card is, I mean, it's really good. I just honestly prefer the Jedi Lightsaber, but you know, Perilous Position, -2/-2/2, and exhaust attached unit. Chewbacca is also a very good card. You know, he can smuggle, and he has grit, 4 attack, 10 health, and he smuggles for 9. So the whole smuggle thing, you have to smuggle him for 11. But he is a smuggle card nonetheless, so there is that. And when he is played, you may defeat a unit with 5 or less remaining HP, so it's kind of like a takedown as well. So it's just a thought. If you're worried about hand disruption and you want to feel like you have a smuggle card for later, you just go ahead and throw Chewbacca right there in the deck. You know what I mean? And then we have the Rey unit, right? You're playing Rey. Why not play the Rey unit? She is a 5 cost, Chris. You know, you don't really have any 5 costs in the deck. She's a 5 cost, 4 attack, 7 health. While playing this unit, ignore her hero aspect if you control Kylo Ren, and on attack, you may heal 2 damage from a unit, and if it's a non-hero unit, give a shield token to it. So she is actually pretty good, and she's obviously a force unit, so that Jedi lightsaber will work good with her as well. I don't think that you should look away from this card if you are missing a 5-drop unit. Of course, I talked about Kiadi Mundi. I just don't have enough screen space, and yeah, I would honestly rather you pick Rey than Kiadi Mundi. I just don't feel like that coordinate gets off a lot. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. Don't forget about Kiadi Mundi. That's a little special mention. Concord Dawn Interceptors. Okay, I know a lot of you probably gonna switch out the Falcon for the Concord Dawn Interceptors. Please give the Falcon a shot. I'm telling you, I like the Falcon. Once you get used to the Falcon and how it plays out, I think you'll like it too. And if you don't, that's okay. But I appreciate you for at least giving it a shot and watching the video, right? So Concord Dawn's Interceptors are pretty good. Can be buffed twice by Rey, and just just makes that a 3/6, and then if something's attacking it gets a 5. It's 5 attack. Very good. That's CR90 Relief Runner, 4 attack, 6 health, restore 2, and when defeated, restore up to 3 damage to a base or a unit. Pretty good. More restore, and as a beefy space unit, gotta dig that, right? Obi-Wan's Aether Sprite, very good. It's 4 attack and 6 health, comes out at 5. Another 5 drop if you want to. The only thing is it kind of competes with the Ghost a little bit in that space. But when played on attack, you can deal 1 damage to Obi-Wan's Aether Sprite and deal 2 damage to another space unit. So I really like that. It can create a lot of good circumstances. But since Django was banned, I haven't really seen the need to need it that much. Although the Chewie pilot, you can still damage the space unit with the Chewie pilot. So Obi-Wan's Aether Sprite is good for that. Although I think Confiscate is just better. You just confiscate and Vigilant something or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's why we just have Confiscate in the side deck. But Obi-Wan's Aether Sprite, still a good card. And then we got Covering the Wing. Give a shield token to something and then create a X-Wing token. It's just very good. You can use that for the Ghost to create a pilot, create like another space unit for the Ghost. For like a pilot, and then you give a shield token to the Ghost, is what I meant to say, to give it a Sentinel. Just very good. And then of course we have Close the Shield Gate. Now this one I haven't played too much, but I bought a place of these cards and I got my eye close on this card because I have a feeling that I could sneak this in at the right time and get really good. You just choose a base and prevent the next damage dealt to that base this phase. So let's say your opponent really can only attack with 1 big creature, but it's probably going to be for game. But maybe if you prevented that damage, you can win. It could happen that way. I don't know. I'm keeping my eye on Close the Shield Gate for sure. Now we have a lot of removal in this deck. So I will say one thing I did have in the sideboard before Django got banned was Direct Hit, just to take out more vehicles. However, Vanquish is also a very good card. That's why I have it here. You just straight up take out a unit. If you feel like you just need 1 more removal spell, I don't really recommend putting another Rival's Fall in. I would just recommend putting a Vanquish because there's really only 1 card that you can't vanquish, that you know what I mean, or that, like, the leader is what I'm trying to say. I was just about to say a complicated way to just say, Rival's Fall can hit the leader, Vanquish can't. So there's no reason to just add a second Rivals Falling because they only have 1 leader, right? So these are all the flex cards. Again, if you made it this far, hit that like button for me. It would help out a lot. If you don't want to miss any more videos coming out of the channel, hit that subscribe button. I did a deep dive this time. Not every deck video is going to be a deep dive. I've just been playing a lot of Rey, and I felt like I had a lot to say, so why not do a long video on it? But I will see you guys next time. Maybe it's some gameplay. Maybe it's my hiking video. We'll see. Peace.